Mathematically, 1 plus 1 is 2. But famous dialogue from old Hindi movies says otherwise. Ek aur ek 11. And practically, when two people come together with intention and coordination, the outcome is far greater than simple sum of efforts. This applies to household work, emotional support, career growth, and most importantly, money. In this video, I want to show you why couples who invest together not only grow their wealth faster, but also build a healthier financial relationship. If you and your partner have ever discussed about buying your dream home, saving for your kids, planning for holidays, or just wanting to make your future stable, then this system of couple investing can help you grow together. Most couples start their financial lives thinking individually. She wants an iPhone, he wants a MacBook Pro, one wants to travel, and the other is a big shopper. It's normal. But when you get married, your goals don't vanish. They simply merge into two categories. One are the individual goals. These include things like personal gadgets, solo purchases, short solo trips, personal hobbies, or upgrading your workstation. These goals require privacy and financial autonomy, and that is perfectly healthy. Second are the joint goals. These are bigger and long-term, like buying a house, buying a car, planning children's education, increasing household income stability, or achieving early retirement. When you plan these goals separately, you end up underestimating the amount required or duplicating effort. But when you combine resources strategically, everything changes. Let me give you a simple example. Suppose individually you both save 25,000 a month. Alone, each of you build a 4.7 crore corpus in 25 years, assuming 12% return. But together that 50,000 a month, your joint investment hits that same 4.5 crore in 20 years, which is 5 years earlier. And also allows flexibility if one of you takes a career break, starts a business, or faces an unexpected medical expense. In order to reach your desired goal together, follow this 5-step process. Step number 1 is setting a shared money vision. Every couple needs one conversation. What kind of life do you want to build 10 years from now? Do you want to travel twice a year? Do you want your kids in high-end school? Do you want a house in your name, or renting is fine? Do you want to retire at 45? Do you want to support your parents financially? This is not a budgeting meeting. It's a life meeting. Once the vision is clear, money decisions automatically become aligned. You suddenly stop arguing about small purchases because you both know where the big picture is headed. Step number 2 is emergency fund and insurance. Before investing even 1 rupee together, you need protection. Most couples skip this and directly start SIPs, but if an emergency hits, you will break investments, take loan, or panic. So the first teamwork-based financial goal should be a joint emergency fund plus proper insurance setup. For emergency fund, keep 6 to 9 months of combined expenses aside. Rent, bills, EMIs, groceries, school fee, everything. Put this in a liquid fund or sweep in FDs, but not in stocks. Next is health insurance. One corporate policy is not enough. Take a separate family floater so you are safe even if one person changes job. And third is the term insurance. If anyone in the couple is financially responsible for another, take term insurance. Even a basic 1 crore cover per person can prevent financial shock. Once this safety net exists, you can invest long-term without fear. Step number 3 is combining your portfolios. A lot of couples worry that investing together is equal to losing independence. That's not true. The most balanced structure where no one feels restricted and feels blindsided is a joint household account, a joint long-term investment account like for house fund or children's plan, and third is an individual account for personal expenses, hobbies, or wish lists. This ensures 3 things. Number 1, it avoids overlapping. For example, if they both are saving separately, then they both can be making similar investments, same large cap fund, same category, etc. This is unnecessary redundancy. Second, it leads to better asset allocation. Together, you can look at good diversification between equities, golds, FDs, etc. And third, costs are managed better. Let us understand by example how you can achieve this. The easiest method is to keep DMAT and mutual fund accounts SIPs individual because it's cleaner to track and review. But you deliberately design your portfolio so that together you achieve wider diversification that you wouldn't get alone. For example, if one partner holds auto, IT, and banking stocks, the other can focus on sectors like energy, pharma, or infrastructure. Individually, your portfolio may look concentrated, but combined, the family portfolio is beautifully diversified across the market. The same applies to mutual funds. You both may invest in the same category, say small cap, but choose different fund houses. If one holds quant small cap, the other should hold Axis small cap or something similar to that. You reduce fund manager concentration risk while staying in the same growth segment. This type of diversification is not possible alone but becomes a huge advantage as a couple. And then you can also keep a few common mutual funds for joint goals like travel, home purchase, or kids' education. These are easier to track together, and splitting investment also brings tax efficiency because capital gains get divided between two people instead of falling on just one pan. This structure gives you the perfect blend of independence, diversification, tax benefit, and simplicity in reviewing your investments without ever mixing up my money and our money. Step number 4 is debt management. Debt can feel heavy, but for two people, it can be divided, managed, and finished faster. Here's how couple can use debt wisely. Number 1, share EMI strategically. If one partner has a higher CIBIL score, take loan in their name for lower interest, but both can contribute to that same EMI. Number 2 is split responsibilities. One handle home loan prepayments, other can handle short-term debts like credit cards. This prevents burnout. And third, use dual income to close debt quickly. For example, if your joint surplus is 30,000 per month and you want to repay a 50 lakh home loan with this, you can reduce the tenure by 8 to 10 years and save up to about 25 to 30 lakhs in interest. Fourth, avoid hidden individual debts. No secret EMIs. No, I will handle this alone. Debt transparency builds trust. Step number 5, rebalancing portfolio. Every year, your combined portfolio will shift. Markets move, income change, risk appetite changes. Goals change. Couple must rebalance together at least once a year. How to rebalance as a couple? 1. If equity becomes too heavy, shift gains to debt and vice versa. Second, if one partner becomes the sole earner for a while, adjust SIPs accordingly. Third, revisit your joint goals annually, house plan, kids, travel, etc. This yearly reset prevents emotional stress and financial imbalance. Now let's talk about advantages of investing together. Number 1, balancing different risk profiles. Money fights usually don't happen because of money. They happen because of mismatched personalities. One partner may be aggressive in investing in, let's say, they want to buy a small cap fund nature type. The other could be conservative with, let's put everything in FD person. Instead of fighting these differences, couples should use them to their strength. For example, assume partner A is aggressive, 70% equity and 30% debt. Partner B is conservative, 40% equity, 60% debt. Individually, the portfolios look mismatched. But together, the combined family portfolio becomes balanced, stable mix, 55% equity and 45% debt. Now, when both portfolios combine, you have the perfect hedge. The aggressive side captures high growth. The conservative side cushions volatility. The result is a portfolio that grows faster and falls slower. This balance reduces emotional friction and increases financial confidence. Second, tax efficiency. This is a beautiful advantage almost no one talks about. If both partners invest separately but for the same goal, the gains are also taxed separately. Let's say you both invest 5 lakhs and earn 1 lakh profit. If it was under one person, the entire 1 lakh would come under LTCG tax calculation. But split between two individuals, only 50,000 per person is counted, meaning better tax efficiency with the same money. This matters even more when selling mutual funds or stocks, generating rental income, using capital gain exemptions on property. Your combined financial structure becomes lighter, smarter, and less taxable. Number 3, power of the combined wealth. Money feels small when you look at it alone. If you earn 12 lakhs and your partner earned 10 lakhs individually, it feels average. But together, you are a 22 lakh household and the financial possibilities double instantly. This shift in mindset from my money to our money does not remove individuality, it creates scale. Now let's talk about the mistakes that you need to avoid. Number 1, trying to convert your partner's investing style usually creates more resistance than results. If one likes equity and the other prefers debt, don't waste energies convincing each other, split responsibilities. Number 2, over-concentration in one partner's favorite product distorts the portfolio. If one is obsessed with small cap or gold, the portfolio becomes emotional instead of strategic. Setting exposure caps like gold 10 to 15% or small caps under 20% keeps risks controlled. 3. Not having a debt management plan creates invisible pressure. Many couples don't know each other's EMIs or credit card cycles, which leads to missed payments and arguments. Listing all the debts and clearing high interest loan first can save thousands in every year. Number 4 is no clarity on spending boundaries often triggers unnecessary fights. A simple rule like up to 5,000 individually, above 5,000 let's discuss together, removes guesswork and resentment. It keeps both partners equal and reduces emotional friction. Mind you, this number can be anything other than 5,000 depending upon your comfort and needs. 5th, relying on one partner to handle all financial tasks is risky. If that one person is unavailable or overwhelmed, the entire system stalls. Both partners should know account details, processes, and basic workflows so the plan keeps running smoothly. Number 6, not updating nominees, beneficiaries, and the key documents after marriage can cause future chaos. It's a 30-minute exercise, but skipping it creates massive paperwork later. Keeping these updated protects both the partners. See, every couple's finances are unique. The system is not fixed and it can and should be customized based on income levels, responsibilities, risk comforts, and changing life situations. Couples who plan, invest, and grow money together can achieve their goals faster with far less stress. I hope you like this video. See you in the next one. Until then, happy investing.